Hello everyone, welcome again to another episode of Hypovolemia with Arturio and Maris. So we're continuing our effort to make progress in Botania. Wow, my flowers died again. There we go. So I have a couple of them left. I guess I'll put them down. I might as well at least get rid of them. They seem to last about an hour and then they die. There's not really, doesn't really seem to be anything you can do with them. Got to find a place to put them where they're not there. Okay, that'll use them up. All right, so while you were gone, 2 quests with unclaimed rewards, technomancy. Oh, second chance. Okay, so that means biofuel finally finished at some point. And then technomancy. Where is technomancy? It won't let me. There we go. Well, that's weird. Okay, so let's get back to Botania, and I'll show you what I've done there. So I've done several of the quests kind of through here. One of these was initially make mana steel gears, and then make a mana coil, and then make a hippie dynamo. And all that's actually pretty easy to do. So the mana steel gears is just mana steel around iron. Very, very simple. You need 2 of those to complete that quest. The coil, I think is it the enchanted coil or it's the mana coil? You just throw redstone in the mana pool and you get a mana coil. Again, very, very simple. And then once you do that, you make them into a dynamo. And you want the hippie dynamo. So once you've got the gears and once you've got the coil, it's very simple to do. Now, long term, that'll be useful. I'm going to put this Imperial block there, I guess. Long term, those dynamos will be useful. I also had to make a mana flux field. There's the dynamo. I made an altar. And then I had to make some mana lenses. So let's just move those. I don't really want them in my inventory. And then we'll put this away because I don't really need that either. I did run into a minor problem. I did finally finish this one, the mana tablet, and there's no reward for it. And that's a little annoying. I'm not really sure why it doesn't have a reward, but it doesn't have a reward. These mana lenses, you need to make 8 of any type. So just make a basic one, which is pretty simple. So those are pretty simple. Just mana steel and either a glass pane or a glass block, either. And where does that leave us? All of the armor. Let's see how much is in there. Yeah, there's probably enough to do that. Are these all? Yeah, they don't need coal at the moment. So basically, I need about half of a stack of iron. All right. And then you just make these just like you would any other armor. Okay, very simple. Get a block of mana steel for that. The right tools for the job, you have to make one of all of those. They're not particularly difficult. I will need some living wood because I'll need twigs for all of these. I think that's probably more than I need. Right, you need a pair of mana steel shears. All right, do you need a sword? Let me check. Okay, at least for the first round, you don't need a sword. Okay, you need a pick, an axe, and a shovel. And then, yeah, there is another round. Oh, you do need a sword, and then you need a living wood bow, which I made 3 pieces of mana string earlier. It's kind of hard to tell these apart from the coal. There we go. I think the living wood bow is like this. Yep, living wood bow. There's that. And there you go. And wow, you get 32 arrows. That's awesome. Okay, so the altar, step 1 is you have to make an altar, and step 2 is you have to make one of each earth, air, water, and fire runes, which are not hard to do, but I don't think I have time to do them. I'm getting ready to go out to dinner in a few minutes. The wife and I, our anniversary is on Monday, so we're going to go have a nice dinner. She's getting ready right now. So I'm trying to think. These ones, this is another one of the quests that there seems to be something wrong with them. I don't know how you go about completing them. So I may be at an impasse until I get a altar set up to make the runes. And you game designers out there, can't you come up with something more original than calling everything a rune of this and a rune of that? Does there really need to be Botania runes, and there need to be blood runes for the blood altar? And you know, let's just look at how many different kind of runes there are in this particular mod pack. Okay, there's these void stone runes, and there's these blood runes and the Thaumcraft. And if you play other mod packs, there's probably even more of them, so it gets a little frustrating. Okay, so Elven Gateway Core. Let's look at that. That takes Terra Steel. Oh, I do not have Terra Steel. And I am not going to have Terra Steel for a while. I need to have a better mana generation system set up. And that's all going to happen off camera. Okay, did that get all of them? Yeah. Eventually, I need to have this set up so that I have probably 8 different areas that are generating mana using this type of method. I'll stop using the day blooms altogether. I'll use nothing but the endo flames. And speaking of which, there was something that I wanted to show how to do real quick. I don't need quite that much. Put some of this back. Let's go over here. And let's use these shears because I have them. So shears on grass gives you grass seed. And let's just get all of this. You also get a bunch of other different kinds of seeds too. But what I was really going for is the grass like that. And pick up the rest of this. Oh, whale. That's okay, because I'm going to need that in a minute. All right. Oh, snowball seeds. I will need those later when I start witchery. Oh, I don't have a mana tablet on me. That's why my my mana shears are slowly taking damage. Any of the mana, steel, armor, or equipment, as long as you have a tablet on you that has some mana in it, they don't take damage. So that's cool and useful. Pick up the rest of this. And while that's not bad, on its own, it doesn't make for phenomenal equipment. But if you enchant them and you put the right enchants on them, it's not bad. Okay, I'm going to need some of that glowstone. And the grass I'm going to put away over here. And I am going to do one other thing. I put my mana tablet away, so I'm going to pick it up. And that mana steel shear is repairing itself because I've got a mana tablet in here. It used a little bit of that mana. So I'm going to put these away because I'm not going to use them. Like I said, with enchants, they're not bad. All right, so I'm going to need some dirt. Oh, I only had 9 in there. One of these chests, I think, had dirt in it. Yep, that'll be enough. And what I'm making, endoflame, floating endoflame. Pasture seeds. There we go. Pasture seeds, dirt. And now I need flowers. Full up flowers. And it doesn't, I don't think it matters which one I use. How many endoflames do I have here? 1, 2, 3, I don't know, something like 8 of them. So I'm going to break them because I'm going to use them in a second. And I'm going to need more glowstone, which, where do I have glowstone? All right, we'll grab some glowstone. Glowstone essence, that is. And we'll very quickly, yeah, this is more than I need, but it's okay. Oops. And then after I finish this, we will wrap up the episode. Okay, so the brown mystical flowers, I think the way, all right, how does this work? I need a glimmering, okay. Now I get, that gives you, and you can do this with any flower. Any full Botania flower combined with 2 glowstone will give you a glimmering version of it. And then you take those glimmering versions, you combine them with dirt and pasture seeds, and you get the floating version. And then the floating version you combine with the flower that you want, and you get the floating version of that. So the nice thing about this is The floating ones I don't think decay, so if I really wanted to keep these day blooms, I could go turn these day blooms into the floating versions. But they produce very, very little mana. They're not very good, and I'm better off doing this in the long run. And in fact, let's get rid of these. And there is one downside of it, and I can't walk through them, so that's a little bit of a pain. And also, they don't have to be spaced out like this. I believe these are one flower in this form that they don't mind being up next to each other. Okay. Oh wow, all the day blooms, they won't stack because they all have slightly different amounts of mana in them. All right. Let's put some of this other stuff away so it's not bogging down my inventory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 blocks of coal. There we go. So that's how you make the floating versions of these. Now, in other versions of Botania, I would have made hydrangeas as my primary mana production, but they have tweaked Botania, and I think it's Botania itself that was tweaked. I don't believe it was Hypovolemia that did it. And the hydrangeas don't produce mana the way they did. They still produce mana, but they don't produce as much. And also, if you don't make the floating versions, they actually decay. So I'm going to bypass that, and I'm going to go directly to either the Endoflame or the Thermal Lily. One of the two, either the Exoflame or the Thermal Lily, actually eats lava. I think it's the Thermal Lily. And so basically you place these, and any lava near them, they will consume and turn into mana. And so what you do is you take the Mind Factory Reloaded lava fabricator and you feed it some power and it'll produce lava. Right on top of it, you put a fountain on top of it, and it also has to have power. The fountain will take the lava from the lava fabricator and it will basically kind of squirt it out around it. So if you have that and surround it by these floating endoflames, they will turn, not the endoflames, I guess it's the Thermal Lily. They'll turn the lava into mana, and a lot of it. Now, the thing is, they have a cooldown period, so they'll absorb a source block of lava, and it takes a long time for them to convert it to mana, but they'll produce a lot of mana. Oops. And relatively quickly, too. So that long term, that's a good mana source. Now, usually these spawn in 4s, but I guess that was just 3. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for today. Long term, this is going to be at least a part of my mana generation. I'm going to do something a little cleaner and a little neater, and I'm going to have 8 of them, and eventually these mana spreaders, they'll have lenses on them that increase their efficiency and range, and I'll get it to the point where it will produce mana very, very quickly, and that's good because it'll use a lot of mana. Like to open the Elven Gateway, it takes a lot of mana to open it, and it takes a lot of mana to keep it open. And then there's other things. There's the terrestrial agglomeration plate, which is how you make terra steel. There's the jaded hyacinth, which makes flowers. I need to make one of those. That takes mana. There's many things that take mana, and now we're to the point now where I have engines that'll produce RF from mana. So it's somewhere, somehow, I'm going to have a very, very large implementation of something like this that's going to produce mana. And that will be in episodes down the road. So I hope you liked the episode. If you did, please throw a like on it. I'd love it if you'd subscribe and leave your questions or comments on YouTube. This is Arturio Ramirez signing out.